right, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Planning Your Corporate Escape. And if you are new here, this channel is all about financial independence, financial freedom, and how to navigate this new economy where we're having mass layoffs in every industry all across the board, all over the United States of America. So if that's content that you like to hear, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. So today I'm gonna get into this whole all the federal workers getting laid off right now. I wasn't gonna make a video about it, but it finally hit home and I was like, this is so devastating that I just felt like I had to just let it out today because, I was holding it in, all the frustration, all the sadness that I was feeling. Because it finally hit home. We have a family friend, we call her our sister. We've known her over 30 years. She's been a part of our family. She's not our biological sister, but we, kind of adopted her into the family because she's such a sweet soul. And so she calls my other sister and she says, "Oh my God, I've never been laid off in 30 plus years. I've always had a job. I've always had good, references, good attendance, everything." And so it blindsided her. She just did not expect it. And she was so she would not stop crying. She was just so depressed about this recent layoff. She is a lot older than me because she is up in age with one of my older sisters. So, she does worry about age discrimination when she re-enters the job market, and also just she's had that job for so long. I guess was just worried about what the future holds for her because she was expecting to stay there until retirement and get her retirement package from the federal government. So as I'm making this video, you guys know we're under the Trump administration, and I just feel like a lot of people are arguing right now over, we should have voted this way, we should have voted that way. I understand we all have our, personal beliefs about who would have been best in office, but at this point in time, we can't continue to fight each other. We actually have to put a hold on that and just not that I want you to fight at all, but just you guys got to squash that now because it is really getting serious out here. This video, I'm just going to make it about the federal workers, but I have tons more people reaching out to me that are really suffering right now, and they're in other industries, and and I didn't really realize when I started this channel and when I started helping people with their escape plan, I didn't really realize, how much this information was going to be needed and how many people were going to need the information. I felt like, people get laid off. That's a part of our economy, but I feel like it's coming at a more massive rate than I've ever experienced before in history. I feel like people are being blindsided because they're saying that the job market is healthy on TV. They're saying things like, there's plenty of jobs, and, if you have this degree, this certification, you don't have anything to kind of like giving you that reassurance. But at the same time, if you see the amount of people online, on TikTok, on YouTube, just in your personal community who are talking right now, it doesn't seem like we're doing well right now. It seems like we're being told one thing on the media, but our egg prices are in some parts of the country, our egg prices are hitting $18 for not even a big package of eggs. I think it's like the 18 count of eggs. Milk is $10 in some areas. So not only did milk go from like $4 to $5, it jumped to $10 in some areas. Eggs have a shortage of supply right now. The tariffs are going to be implemented right now. So that's supposed to cost an increase on our goods and things like that because they're getting exported into our country. Imported, and then we export out, but imported into our country. But so they said the retailers and people who are going to have to pay that are going to hike up the prices. So just the price hike, we're still, some places are waiting for even real estate and housing market prices to fall in some areas because it's still not in line with the average working American person's salary. We have that going on. And now we have all these workers without a job. The federal workers, as of the end of February 2025, there's a reported number of almost 75,000, probably going to hit 100,000 very soon, of federal workers in the IRS and other government um, departments being laid off from their job. And some people were close to getting their retirement. Some people were on probationary period. There have been veterans saying they have been affected, which I don't know how anyone can do that to our veterans. But like I said, um, there are veterans being affected right now. Just a mass wave of layoffs. What I think this is going to cause is it's going to cause a lot of it's going to add to the unemployment that we're already experiencing in other sectors. So a lot of federal workers are highly skilled and highly qualified candidates. Many of them, the ones that I know at least, they possess master's degrees, because a lot of times the job will pay for their master's degree. So they're coming into the job market with master's degree, with PhDs, or just a lot of experience working for the federal government. And of course, they usually have, of course, a clear background. They're going to have clear backgrounds because, almost all of them they don't have any blemishes on their background as far as I'm aware of. They can get, you're not able to get a lot of those jobs if you have anything on your record. So they're coming in with, great references, work history, highly educated, and clear government security clearance backgrounds. So when they come into the job market, they're going to be able to compete on a higher level for these jobs. And there's already not enough jobs for the people who are calling me or like emailing me and saying, hey, I've been laid off for 6 months. I've been laid off for a year. I've been laid off for 3 years. And I found, people are saying they found some jobs, like just one lady became a bathroom attendant. Other people, I found retail or restaurant jobs or some other job that, I would say they probably don't want to work, or, I don't want to say it's beneath them. I was about to say that, but it's not beneath them. It's just they're so highly overqualified for that. It's just like almost like a high school level job, like jobs you think you'll get when you're getting out of high school, not jobs you would have to work when you're 50, 60 years old or 40 something years old, and you have a master's, a PhD, or a bachelor's degree, and you have all those years of experience. So they were just, complaining about, how bad the job market was, and how, they can't find any work or nowhere near the pay that they were used to making. And these are people in HR, these are people in manager roles, these are people in just, regular office type roles or tech roles. But what I'm noticing is, if the amount of jobs are already kind of scarce and these companies are not hiring, that when we have over 100,000 plus federal workers, we're not even into month 2, and that's already what, 35,000 people being laid off a month. So if this trend keeps up, and they keep laying people off until the end of the year or in the next year or so, it is really going to affect a lot of people who are already in the job market and trying to find work, on top of the federal workers who, are going up against, 3,000 to 5,000 applicants already. So my advice, I've already spoken to some federal workers, so my advice would be just, start applying for your unemployment right now. Make sure you're documenting everything, because there's a lot of people saying that companies are trying to deny their unemployment. Make sure you're documenting all your firing calls or anything like that, because a company, should not lay you off and then try to stop you from getting your unemployment. Like, that is so disgusting of that company, of these HR managers or whoever's doing management, CEOs, whoever is authorizing this. That is just, you're just a disgusting human being if you do that to someone, because they are jeopardizing people's families and they are jeopardizing people's health when you do this. They don't know how long these people are going to have to go without a job. These people could be anywhere from 6 months to 3 years without work. And so they need every penny that they can get right now. And so, make sure you're documenting that and you're fighting for your unemployment, you're fighting for your, if you're terminated, see what your rights are, because from what I understand and what I've been reading, a lot of these federal workers are being fired, but the way it's being done is very unconstitutional and it has never been done in the history of our country. So we should, I know some people are like, oh, the federal workers, some of them are lazy, or when you call the benefits office, they don't pick up. I understand all of that, guys, but let me tell you something. If people cannot find work, their children are starving, their families are starving, and a lot of people, if you watch my other videos, I always say this, a lot of people help a lot of other people in their community, in their family. People who work normally aren't, at least the ones I know, I can't speak for the whole world, but most people give to their churches. Most people give to the synagogue, the masjid. Most people help the home. Like, I was out the other day and there was some guys performing on the street, and this guy pulled out his dollar, what he can give. People were giving change and talking to the guy who was performing, just being uplifting and encouraging. So when people have jobs, they're able to do little bits like that to help the less fortunate in the community. So when you're thinking like, oh, it's great that this person lost their job, or if you ever, I've seen some comments like that, and just don't post stuff like that, you guys, because you could be next. It could happen to you. So don't post stuff like that. Just pray for everyone who's suffering right now, because it's going to be a long, hard journey for people for the next couple of years. Because even if they got a job in 6 months to a year, that they have to recover from all those months of unemployment or setbacks, because they had a setback. So if they had a setback, that means they have to recover from that setback. And you don't know if that's the husband who's a breadwinner for his wife and his children. You don't know if there's a single mother who has to feed her children, has to feed an aging mother or grandparent or parent in her home. This is the kind of things that people, at least I come in contact with, are doing. They're not lazy. They're not mooching off of the government or anything. They are hardworking federal workers and employees, and they have families and people in their community that they were helping. There are a lot of people that you guys may not know. There's a lot of people in the community that when there's an elderly person who's on a fixed Social Security income, there's people in the community that will come together and get them food or water or whatever they need and bring it and leave it at their door. So let me tell you, it's gonna affect a lot of people when federal workers get laid off. It doesn't just affect the federal workers. And I think some people have that misunderstanding, like, well, I'm not a federal worker, my job is safe in whatever industry I'm in, so I don't have to worry about this affecting me. Oh yes, you do. If federal workers cannot find work after a while, and then they can't get their unemployment, and then the people in other sectors cannot find work and they can't get their unemployment, or companies are denying their unemployment, they are going to it is going to cause a lot of homelessness. It's going to cause a lot of depression. It's going to cause a lot of course, divorces and things like that. It's going to hurt a lot of children in our community are going to go starving. It has a lot of trickle down effect, and it could also increase our crime rate very greatly. And I'm telling you, if you've ever been in a crime-ridden area or community, growing up, if you've ever been in those kind of communities, they are very hard to live in, those kind of communities, because you are being, targeted all the time for anything that you have. It doesn't matter if you have a little, it doesn't matter if you have a lot, that you'll be targeted. So I just wanted to say my heart is going out to anyone right now who's a federal worker and you were laid off. I'm truly sorry. Reach out to me if there's anything that I can do for you. But if you are a federal worker and you want to drop a comment below this video, feel free to do so. Feel free to email me. But I'm so sorry that everyone's going through this right now. But from what I can see, like I said, it looks like we are entering a recession. Some people have said, no, we're not in a recession. Some people say we are in a recession. But the way things are looking, the way that people are complaining on TikTok and just YouTube about putting in 3,000 applications and not being able to get barely 20 interviews, or looking for work for 1 year before they landed their first job. And from what I gather, for most of these people, they'd never in their working, and these look like people, I would say at least the mid 30s to 40s and some 50s. But I'm saying these are not like young, really, really super young people in their 20s, I guess, or those ages. So they have never experienced a job loss where like this one where they could not find a job usually within 30 to 90 days. So if it's taking people 3,000 applications when it normally took them 50 applications, there's a problem. When people are going on interviews and then the interviewer is ghosting them, or the interviewer is putting them through 3 to 7 rounds of interview and still not hiring them, there is a problem. I have never in my life heard of 7 interviews and you don't get hired. Why are you going through the first 3 to 4 if they don't think you at least have like are the most qualified applicant they have? So I personally wouldn't go through 7. I'm at 2. 2 is just, I mean, I know there's some jobs like federal workers have to probably go through a lot of rounds, hospital workers, certain people, if you're in a certain job, they got to do a lot of, background checks and everything. And I understand that. But I'm thinking, for my major, for what I do, I'm like 2. After 2, no. If they even tell me in the beginning of the interview, hey, you got to do more than 2, I'm like, no. If you need to have everyone on that call that it needs to talk to me, at least not for the initial interview. I know sometimes they got to weed people out that first interview, but by that second interview, maybe the third, everybody I need to talk to needs to be on those calls. I am not gonna go through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 interviews. It's not gonna happen. So I understand that people have to do what they have to do, and I encourage you to continue to apply and continue to do what you have to do. But this is getting ridiculous. But if you are a federal employee or ex-federal employee and you have been laid off, like I said, know what your rights are as far as them terminating you and seeing if you can get any extra help or benefits. Hold on one second. I'm on a video. And also make sure you're applying for your unemployment just as backup, in because you may have to fight unemployment for a little while to get your benefits if your job is denying it. Another key point that I want to point out is the money that you do have in savings, anything in 401k, try your best to stretch that as much as you can. Don't assume, like, I've talked to some people and they're like, well, I have enough for 6 months to a year, let's just say. And then it's been a year and they're like, I've already ran out of that. I thought I would have had a job by now. You need to hold on to that money like you're going to be out of work for 1 to 3 years. Even if you have a lot of interviews, even if you have a good resume, even if you just just feel like you're gonna find something fast, just hold on to it. Because another thing some of my clients that I talk to have experienced is they were given offer letters and saying, yes, we're gonna send you an offer, and then come to find out when it was time for them to start, then they would rescind that offer or say, we've now put that job on hold. So this is actually happening. And this is those people that I was talking about going through those 3 to 7 round interviews. That's crazy. So you don't, even if you got a job, you don't know if you're going to make it past their probationary period, or if they say, hey, we decided to put that role on hold 3 to 6 months into you working for that company. You need to hold on to every penny. You need to cancel every membership you have. Cancel, going out to eat right now, shopping, just anything that is going to take money out of your account. Just put that on hold right now. Unless you're, super, wealthy and you've saved up a lot over these last, 20, 30 years of you working or something. If you have money then for another 3 years plus, then of course you're okay. But if you're one of the workers who are reaching out and saying, I didn't expect this, I was blindsided by what's going on, I am struggling already, even with the job I was already struggling. I would say, if you have, if you can cut your housing expense, if there's a way, just start working on that, or just having that backup plan. If you have to move back in with mom or dad, just have that plan already going into effect. One lady said about selling her house. I mean, it just depends on the market you're in. You could probably sell your home if you have some assets like that, but think about it. Just think about where you're gonna stay and if it makes sense, because sometimes it just doesn't make sense to rent, especially if you don't have a job. You may not even be able to rent anywhere because you don't have the job. But maybe if you're gonna move back in with family and they know that this is a 1 to 3 year long haul, it might make sense. The reality is it's a 1 to 3 year long haul for most people I'm speaking to right now. It is not a 90-day turnaround unless you're maybe a medical professional or somebody in some, like I said, I don't even know. There's maybe you will find something. I just would plan for 1 to 3 years the way things are going right now, because I believe even though it's 2025, from what I understand, people have been going through this since 2023, and it started around 2022 to 2023. So it's been going on for a while. It just wasn't at this mass level. So I think that people thought the job market was still strong and going well. But I will tell you this, there are temp agencies, and normally you can get a job at a temp agency like within 3 weeks, maybe 2. I mean, the temp agencies, you can apply to 50 or 100 of them, and only maybe 1 or 2 will call you back. I remember temp agencies, you can reach out to like one, now I won't say 1, 3 to 10, let's just say, and have so many opportunities lined up for you. Right now, there is 0. The recruiters don't even have work right now. I think the recruiters are out of work right now, from what I understand. So, yeah, make sure you're follow my channel for more content. I'm going to be putting out more content about investing, savings, things like that, and how to plan your corporate escape, so that even if you got another job, you're not back in this predicament even in the future. Just having that cushion, just having that backup plan, so that you can weather when things like this happen in the economy. If you decide that you want to stay in the workforce for a few more years or decades of your life, but if you want to start planning an exit strategy so that you don't have to go through this again in your life, just reach out to me and we'll work on an exit strategy for you. But in the meantime, I'm praying for everyone. Don't get caught up in these comments on some of these videos and these articles. Just pray, stay prayed up, stay positive, and just keep networking. A lot of people are saying that there's a lot of ghost jobs on there. And I know that once you start putting yourself out there on those websites like Indeed and things like that, you're going to probably get a lot of scammers and scam calls. There seems to be an increase in those right now. But, just don't give them like your social, and, don't put your physical address. I usually tell people just put like your street name and maybe your zip code. So if you apply somewhere, they get an idea where you are, but don't put your actual like physical home at like if it's 123 Main Street, just put Main Street, Atlanta, Georgia, whatever y'all zip code is in Atlanta. But don't put like, your actual house number. And, there is a resume service, I think it's called Top Resume. I think they do a good job. They had good reviews, but some people say that they didn't have a good experience with them. And I think they charge about $200 for the basic package, and maybe $300 or $400 for another, like a more advanced package. But that includes more of like if you need a phone call and all that. But if you just need the email service, it's just a two something package, and that's good enough to get your resume fixed up. But make sure you have somebody looking at your resume. Don't just assume that you have the best resume unless you already have somebody look at it. Make sure is highlighting all your skills in your professional experience that is relevant to where you're applying to. And then another cheat code I'm just going to recommend this. It's up to you if you want to do it. But when you're applying for some of those other roles that I was talking about earlier in the video, the ones you feel like you're outgrown or you are too qualified for those roles, we'll just put it like that. We won't say I think I used another word, bottom roles, or don't say stuff like that. That's not professional. But like roles that are just you're overqualified for. They always tell you, oh, you're overqualified for this role. You may have to start taking stuff off your resume, and that's unfortunate. Just remember, if you ever apply for that job in the future and you say you don't have a bachelor's degree, and then in the future you reapply to that company and they're like, I thought you said you applied here 2 years ago. You say you do have a bachelor's degree, It's just, you got to survive. It's not about trying to be deceptive or anything. It's just survival. You cannot, people who have told me that they wanted to be honest on their resume, they said it's almost like they did it that way and it's been a year and it's not working, and they had to almost take stuff off their resume just to get the slightly lower paying roles, just to have something so they could take care of themselves and their family. And I don't want to shame those folks because they have to eat, because if they don't eat, guess what? They start robbing stores, because you got to eat. They start breaking into cars. They unfortunately could commit suicide. They can take out their whole family and children and do a mass what do you call it, like a mass suicide, or I can't remember what the news names that other one, but we don't want that happening in our community. We don't want domestic violence going up. It's no excuse for domestic violence, but what I'm saying is we don't want any incidents where people are fighting in the streets, people are robbing stores and breaking into cars. I was walking down the street the other day and I saw a car. It was a Mercedes SUV, and it was missing all of its tires. Like somebody had took all the tires off this beautiful Mercedes SUV car, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't park my car there. You don't want to come out and your car is like sitting on blocks and your windows bashed in. And I've had that happen years ago. They bashed my car window in, and it's not a good feeling because you work just as hard, and of course I had to pay for that. When every time they do that to someone, that person is out of a lot of money trying to fix their car back up so they can have a car. So I'm just gonna wrap this video up. I think that's what I want to share with you guys today, is just start working on your escape plan. If you're a federal worker, even if you're a federal worker and you're not laid off right now, start now. Don't start waiting. Don't say, oh, well, I'm secure because I have this role. I'm upper management. I've been here 10 years, 30 years. I'm exempt from this. Yeah, unless you own a company, you're not exempt from anybody firing you. I don't care if you show up to work on time, you're the best employee they've ever had. No one is exempt from being fired or laid off from companies that you do not own or your family does not own. When you and your family owns assets and companies, then you guys control it. But until then, we are at the mercy of the employer. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video and this channel with anyone who is interested in financial independence and planning their corporate escape. See you guys in the next video.